Mr. Primetime, you're looking a little bit. You didn't embrace the happiness of our chat. You're looking demoralized, depressed, down.
I was enjoying it early on when we were losing, but not getting blown out in that fashion. And listen, I understand that as far as Adam Gase goes, yes, this is the best thing that can happen. If there's any possibility of him coming back, you would hope that a 40-3 loss would bury him. But it still bothers the hell out of me. One, just the fact that we can't even evaluate any young players at this point because this coaching staff is not putting them in any kind of position to succeed. And two, you just held Greg Williams accountable last week. You fired him because of an egregious mistake. Yet when is anybody on this offensive staff ever going to be held accountable? You just put up single-digit points again. What's that, like the fourth or fifth time this year that we haven't scored a touchdown in a game? Yet nobody on this offensive staff ever gets held accountable. So that pisses me off. And like I said, with the young players, who made progress today?
No, I mean, this game's a complete waste.
Barrios?
A complete waste.
What did we get out of today?
They gave up 410 yards of total.
That's what I'm saying.
Defense.
More opportunities where young guys didn't have a chance to improve, make plays. Just sucks, dude. We got nothing here.
Yeah, I'm not even mad at all, dude. I thought this is exactly how today went, exactly what I expected. I mean, I didn't expect 3 missed field goals, but I mean, this is what I kind of expect. The only thing that kind of bothered me is that they kept Sam Darnold in so long, where if you had James Morgan active, James Morgan gets some reps, dude. Like at some point, the kid's got to play. He can hand the ball off 3 times. Don't let Darnold go out there, get his ass beat.
Well, this is where you'd like to see the mandate come from Joe Douglas, where we're 0-13. We're not fighting for anything. James Morgan, Cameron Clark, Zuniga should be out on the field every week. The other guys should be active. Every one of your draft picks, every one of your young players should be on the field. We don't need to see Frank Gore anymore. Perriman, I'm done with him after the 2 drops today. Start unloading your bench, unload your young kids, and see what you have.
Yeah, I mean, this was terrible. This is as bad as it gets. This is probably one of the worst games I've seen in a long, long time. And we've seen a lot of shitty football over the last 3-4 years. This is terrible though. You give the defense some kind of credit. They were trying to keep the team in the game in theory. They kept missing field goals. The play calling was awful. The waste of timeout.
Yeah, the refs too.
The officiating was horrendous.
The pass interferences that got called on us that weren't called on Seattle. Whole game is a joke. Yeah,
I mean, it's like good teams find a way to win, bad teams find a way to lose. The Jets are the worst team in football. It's not even close at this point. This was gross, dude. Like, I'm glad, to be honest with you, I'm glad that everybody joined us on our chat and we could all make fun of things, start laughing, because if not, you'd start feeling yourself getting like annoyed and mad. It's embarrassing. And we talk about it week in and week out. How does Chris Johnson and Woody Johnson sit here on Monday morning and just watch your team get thoroughly thrashed? I mean, they got thrashed.
They're okay with it.
And off the field. And it's like, you know what? Oh, well, it's one more game. We still have,
Yeah, like you said, thank God that we have the chat, that we could do this, that we can crack a few drinks and have a few laughs. Otherwise, we'd be sitting there miserable watching other teams, or just miserable at what we have to watch, for the 10th year in a row with our team, not enjoying games in December. It's fucking laughable that ownership just sits back and thinks this is okay.
Yeah, they go in tomorrow. Well, it's 3 more games. We're trying to there is nothing to salvage out of this game. There's not one positive at all.
No, not one.
And to see guys like, Frankie Louvu and Bless Austin talking shit at the end of the game, it shows there's no discipline here. There's no accountability here. There's no leadership. There's nothing. It's a bunch
of guys out for themselves. That's what it looked like.
It's a bona fide mess, man. There's no discipline at all. It's gross. It's just, it's the worst team in football. It's going to be historically one of the worst teams in football.
Worst team in football, worst culture in football.
It's a bona fide
coaching
mess,
staff in football.
I can't wait to see what Gase has to say. I mean, the 2 obvious scapegoats will be the officiating and the kicker.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, there's not this is the first.
None of that's making a difference. Though you lost by 37 points.
This is the first game I think all year we don't have a post game recap. It's listen to Gase talk, mock the shit out of him.
Recap.
Yeah, and then there's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to really break down here. There's nothing to salvage, nothing to discuss.
Nope.
I mean, you played hard, okay, on defense. The offense is inept. Penalties, drop passes, questionable play calling, no sense of urgency.
The bar is so low that we celebrate guys playing hard.
Yep,
that's where it's come to.
Yeah, they're competing, and what we're forgetting is a lot of these guys are competing because they're on 1-year contracts. They're keeping good tape and to go into next year, and even at that, some of these guys are starting to mail in a little bit. Like a guy like Jordan Jacobs and Brian Poole, I'd never come back. I mean, I'm good. I'm done, man. Like the rest of the year I'm taking this one off because I have enough tape on the enough tape established. Today was just, there's nothing to take away from this game. It's just an embarrassing loss that nobody's going to be held accountable for, and that's it. There's nothing to talk about, really.
I'm fascinated to hear what Gase is going to say, though.
He's a dead man walking. You see, he's like a lifeless zombie. Like even when Todd Bowles towards the end of his view, at least he had some like fire and like some fire and brimstone on him, like towards the end of his career.
Not
with the
much.
Jets. But this is shit, man. This is just Becton, and even Becton, man. Becton hasn't played well, but I'm wondering if he's hurt, if he's kind of banged up. I mean, this is look, the total yards 410 to 185. The Jets had 116 passing yards. How in the fuck do you have 116 passing yards in this NFL?
How many times have we actually gotten over 200 this year? Like twice, 3 times, maybe?
69 rushing. Here we go. Put the sound on.
Yep.
Obviously we didn't play nearly good enough, especially early when we had opportunities. Marcus has a hell of a pick. We do nothing with that. We have a good kick return. We don't do anything with that. We don't give ourselves another chance when the opportunities we do have, we don't take advantage of. So obviously we got away from us very quickly.
Yeah.
And when you have chances against a team like this, you better take advantage of them. This is the outcome.
It's your offense, you clown.
Whatever you guys got.
Adam, can you just talk a little bit about Sam's performance? I mean, only 132 yards against the league's worst pass defense.
Yeah, we had some protection breakdowns. There was a couple times where, I think he probably could have dropped the ball down, felt like he could fit it in.
Oh.
Obviously we'll have to go back and look at this.
Watch the tape.
Kind of see
There you go.
the overall detail of what's going on, whether it's he needs to make a different decision if he doesn't have enough time, not open. I think we're taking turns on this one.
Adam, certainly in no way am I making or suggesting an excuse, but I just wonder how much of an effect maybe last week's situation had on these guys, and was it just a matter of time before there was a breaking point for these guys? I would hate to say that that's a reason for anything from today. I feel like today,
yes, it's a reason.
Like I said, we didn't take advantage of any opportunity we had. Felt like the guys did a good job of bouncing back to come to practice and do a lot right as far as execution goes. Good energy. Traveling the West Coast.
Good practice.
They handled it the right way. Went about things the right way. It's just we can't allow when a good thing happens, we have to capitalize on it. We can't have nothing come out of those drives.
How demoralizing were all those missed field goal misses in the second quarter?
Yeah, it's just I would love to give ourselves a better chance of scoring a touchdown. Felt like we did have some opportunities that we missed on those. But anytime that you can at least come away with points, it's a different feel. So we needed all of them.
Did you think that the change in defensive coordinators hurt the defense at all? Things seemed to come very easily for them. Was there any, effect on just having a new play caller, do you think, on the defense?
I don't think so. I just feel like when we finally settled down, it was, the offensive side of the ball wasn't really doing anything. We started going 3 and out. We weren't getting anything going. And then I think we just got away from this.
Did you see any indication at all in practice from Castillo that, there could be anything going on with him, or is it just kind of a game day thing?
No, in practice, I feel like, things were good. The operation, the amount of fielders that we're making in practice.
Ask about the fucking timeout.
That one's always going to be a hard one for me to explain when it comes to that position. So I'm not an expert, with the kicking specialist.
You guys,
What happened on the 2-minute drive before half? You get the long play to Berrios.
There you go.
There
it is.
I screwed that up. I tried to. No, that was on me.
Oh,
I screwed our guys up as far as trying to get too cute on one of the play calls. That was my fault.
at least he owned it.
why did you guys struggle
Doesn't make it any better.
as much as you did stopping the run? That's kind of something that you've been able to be pretty successful at this year, except for today.
Gotta watch the film.
Connor, I wish I had a good answer for you, because it's hard to tell without watching the film. At least when watching the film, I can say, okay, hey, we're misfitting. where, somebody's not doing the right thing on some of the fronts. There was a couple of times I saw what front we were in and seeing where they ran the ball. It wasn't really correlating. I have a feeling I know what happened as far as, a couple of guys were doing some things they probably shouldn't have been doing. And all it takes is one guy to break down on one of those, and then you're in trouble.
How do you make adjustments mid-game when you can't
You'll
figure
need to
out
sound
what's
like a broken
wrong?
record here,
You have to wait and watch the film before you can
just
give an
like
answer.
when you face the team after a game like this and after the way the whole season's gone, like what do you tell them?
Well, I mean,
Tell them
this group has done a good job of really talking out loud, after I'm finished, as far as guys, hey, we're coming back to work, stick together,
You just
make
lost
sure that we're doing the right thing, day in and day out. Guys like Marcus May and Foley stepping up and saying things after I'm done talking, and reiterating what I'm saying. They can control, getting ready for the next one and trying to find a way to win anything.
He's so
Adam, do
full
you
of shit.
sense that they're more demoralized after a loss like this, though?
Yeah, I mean, this last week was probably the one that felt a little different, as far as just the hurt. I know they all make me feel like shit.
Did you expect a change when they brought in Geno Smith?
As far as what they were doing,
Which you intended to do?
What the fuck kind of question is
What?
that?
I mean, the game was out of hand.
Why even ask that?
Figure out a way to win.
What kind of question is that?
And it seemed like all four of Russell's touchdown passes, the guys were pretty open. So do you think it was a case of maybe a young secondary just getting confused by some
Why not ask
formational
questions
stuff that
about
they
the
were
offense?
doing, or how did guys get that open?
Ask
I
questions
feel
about the
like
fucking
they felt like
offense.
they needed to just hold on the ball for a good amount of time. I'd have to look at it real
Gotta watch the tape.
to give you a great answer.
We'll take a few more for Coach.
These questions are bullshit.
Why?
Adam, did you get to talk to Jamal at all before or after the game?
I saw him after the game.
And
You guys speak, shake hands, anything?
Yeah, I mean, I hugged him and stay in.
Nothing about the offense. They talk about the defense. These questions are a joke, man.
Anything else for Coach? Do you plan to go in a different direction for a kicker next week?
That's hard for me to answer right now. I gotta, when we go through our personnel meetings, and I'm sure we'll discuss it.
we got to get our credentials back somehow. We'll just sneak into that room.
All right, so that was Adam Gase.
Gotta watch the film on the kicker.
Bart Scott.
I mean, it's just
Oh my god.
what's
dude.
weird is that the Jets week in and week out embarrass themselves on offense, and these guys are focusing on the defense and asking questions. And the reason why they're asking questions on defense, because they know he's not going to answer them. He's going to say, you know what, I got to watch the film. They're giving him a pass, dude. Like, why is Sam Darnold doing this? Why is what do you think about Perriman dropping passes all the time? Why is Chris Herndon not being featured? Why are you always running the ball on first down? Why not grill him for the offense is inept? Why not focus on that for once and grill the shit out of him?
Because you know what? At the end of the day, he's still the head coach. He's supposed to oversee the entire team, and he just fired the defensive coordinator. So if there's ever a week that he should have to answer, if there's ever a week that he should have to answer for why the defense sucked, this would be the week. But it doesn't excuse not asking all the questions like you just said about the timeout, about the player usage as far as
The
Cameron
lady
Clark
asked a
being
question about
inactive.
Geno Smith. What the fuck
None of
was
the questions-
that?
Dude, there's at least 15 questions that we could have asked that would have been better than pretty much everything that the entire media group asked today.
That's embarrassing, man. They didn't.
Why
They
is
didn't
Cameron
ask,
Clark inactive? Why is James Morgan inactive?
was there any point in the game you thought about benching Sam Darnold? And if not, why not? Was Joe Flacco? I mean, is there any benefit of keeping Sam Darnold in the game where he's getting blown out and getting hit and nobody's open?
Why does the offense continue to come out and move the ball their first 10 to 15 plays and then stall out every week?
I mean, there's so many questions you could ask. They gave him a complete pass on the offensive questions.
Always. What else do you expect, though?
This media is a joke, man. They're worse than the coaching staff. Seriously.
They are.
Hey, one good question, the Brian Costello question. They let him off on that too, and he took admitted for it too. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. This is just, I don't know.
Sam, 2 touchdowns and 5 turnovers since coming back from injury.
I mean, this is just the worst team in football, and they're getting a passenger sling, and there's just like, you could ask, hey, what's going on with your personal foul penalties with Bless Austin mouthing off, all these guys doing all this stupid shit? What about that?
There's a million questions. Frank Gore, first down. Why do you keep featuring him when Ty Johnson and Josh Adams look like?
Why is Frank Gore starting when Ty Johnson had 100 yards last week? How about that? Why is Jamison Crowder not being used more? Like, why not all these different things?
The timeout, like you said.
I mean, yeah, the timeout they got him on it. He said he took blame for it, but just. I don't know, man. And the sad thing is, like we said in our live stream, again, thank you to everybody joining us on the live stream. That's the most fun I've had in a long time during this really shitty season. So thank you guys for joining us. But I mean, this is just ridiculous, dude. It's so ridiculous. It really is. It's just.
This one wasn't fun for me. I mean, I know we had fun during the game, like with the stream and everything, but watching this, like, this wasn't fun. I can enjoy losses, as part of the tank when we're watching some young players along the way make some plays, and you get a little bit of hope for the future, and you start talking about, all right, where can this guy fit in going forward? Today, you didn't see anything. There's nothing to be optimistic about today. You didn't learn anything about these players today.
Yeah, I mean, you learn nothing about nobody. I mean, nobody played well. There's no positives. There's nothing.
Why get off the plane? This is a waste.
Yeah, and the same thing's going to happen next week. You're going to expect the same exact thing. And what's going to happen is next week the team is probably more explosive and a little bit more aggressive. They're not going to make Seattle made a lot of mistakes to keep us.
Sam is going to get murdered by Aaron Donald next week.
Yep,
murdered.
Yep. No, I mean, Marcus made the one nice play. He also blew a coverage on one of the touchdowns too, though.
Everybody blew coverage at some point.
Like this is the worst game of the season. And nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to change. They'll get rid of the kicker. Big fucking deal. Who cares? Yeah. But getting rid of the kickers is that. But like you said, all these problems in offense, nobody's making a difference. Nobody's making a change.
Nope. And that's why it looks so hypocritical that they were so quick to pull the trigger last week on Greg Williams, for having, some, or trying to save some kind of face as far as accountability goes. Yet all year, not just this year, but last year as well, historically, one of the worst offenses in football. Yep. They don't make a change anywhere.
Yeah, we'll do some comments here. What was the Costello question? He asked about the timeout and the 2-minute drill. The 2-minute drill was horrendous. Yeah. The play to Barrios bailed him out, but it was horrendous, absolutely horrendous. I mean, no situational awareness, no game awareness, no. It's just, and I don't know. Like, it's not even fun. Like, I had fun just cracking jokes and shit like that. Like, I don't feel happy for Sam. Like, because it's just
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
there's nothing good coming out of this with him. Like, he should have been taken out of the game. Like, the way they at some point you reach where like, all right, you know what? There's nothing. You worry about injuries. You worry about his confidence. You worry about just everything just getting worse. You take him out and say, Flacco, you know what? Yeah. Mop up duty, dude.
I forget what drive it was. It was one of the drives in the third quarter where on like 3 plays in a row, he got nailed. At that point, I think it was like 31-3. Take him out. He has nothing to gain by being out there. You're already, just trying to run the clock out pretty much. They were running the ball more than they were throwing it towards the end. There was no reason to have him out there.
No, and Morgan should be active. He's got to be on the active roster, man. He should be active because if it's too embarrassing for Flacco to be in there, then you let Flacco just not go in, and you put Morgan in it. Let him play. Let him run around and do whatever the fuck he wants. Who cares? Yeah, apparently the media is blasting. They're all blasting Sam now. Like,
of course they are.
But it's like it's just done. Like, everything is done here. It's a bona fide mess. Nobody's gonna comment. Douglas is gonna stay out. Ownership's gonna stay out. They're gonna keep the coach here. They're gonna let Sam hang out to dry. It's
embarrassing.
It's all predictable, man. Nothing. It's just a mess, a bona fide mess. Yeah, I mean, exactly. Blow it all up. Hey, that's where we're at. 3 more games. When do the Jaguars play the Bears? Next week?
I think it's either next week or the week after.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. I mean,
they got the Ravens next week, and then the Bears.
So 2 more weeks. Yeah. So you figure tomorrow in New York sports, the Jets aren't going to get any of the headlines because the Giants lost a terrible game today. So the Giants will be the focal point because they're supposedly in the playoff hunt and everything else. So they're going to focus on them. The Jets will get a pass in the media too. They'll be an afterthought. Nobody's gonna say shit. Nobody's gonna care, and that's it. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, this is what people want, though. I mean,
yeah, no, this is it. You want losses and nothing. Last week we got nervous. This week we sat back for 3 hours and just wanted to count the minutes. So that's it. I mean, Primetime, if you want any comments, I mean, there's not really much to talk about, man.
I was gonna say,
I
I was trying to like think for a sec, like, is there anything we missed? Is there anything, to break
we missed
down?
shotguns. We didn't do any shotguns today.
Yeah, that we missed.
Jennifer Gase is on now.
Well,
Yeah, there's not really a lot to talk about. There's really not. There's no. I mean, the Jets are going to need a pass tomorrow because the Giants lost. No positives coming out of the game. A thorough ass kicking, embarrassing. They weren't competitive, and to sit here and try to criticize Darnold's a waste of time. It's just not even worth it at this point.
No.
Nobody played well from top to bottom. Nobody
had a chance.
Yeah, that's it. So I guess what we'll do is tomorrow night we're going to have our exclusive interview, which I think is going to be fascinating. I think tomorrow night's at 8:00 we have our special guest coming back on. I think this is going to be a legendary one. This could be an end all be all for this one.
This is going to be a bad one.
So again, thank you guys for all joining us. We definitely appreciate it. We had a lot of fun today. Well, I did. Primetime's a little bummed out, but I had a lot of fun.
I had fun during the game. I mean, like being a part of the stream, I had fun. Watching the game, I did not have fun.
Tomorrow night, 8:00, special guest. Enjoy your night. Enjoy Steelers Bills, and we'll talk to you later.
Later.